Peter Van Zyverden video log sometime in late June. Can't keep track of that kind of thing. Times of rapid transformation, when facing the unconscious is all there is to do. Meeting myself in all my beautiful and all my unsavory characteristics, the places that have been rejected because they don't fit into polite society. They're not supposed to be there. But oops, they are there. Oh shit. What can you do? That's the funny thing. I guess we learned that we can edit ourselves, change ourselves, push it away, bury it down, deep down there, like nuclear waste. You know, you put it deep down in the Earth's crust and forget about it. The future generations will deal with that. 10,000 years, 20,000 years, 30,000 years, they'll deal with it. That's a lot like how we deal with the unconscious mind. But for those intrepid explorers amongst us who have discovered that you can never get rid of anything by pushing it away, it's sort of an inconvenient truth that we stumble upon. Low power mode. Here we go. Just a second here. There we go. That pushing it away never gets rid of it. It just creates a perpetual struggle against ourselves. So I guess it's time to face it. Time to start facing the unconscious mind. And that's what's going on this planet. Some of us are on board. We're kind of getting on the program. We're going along with it. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, let's start looking at it. We learn techniques. We learn to heal it. We learn to transmute what doesn't serve the light by holding it to the light. Nothing can affect the light. Nothing can attack the light. Nothing can change the light that we are. So you hold it up to the light and everything transforms in the heat of the sun, the blazing truth of I am. So that's good. We have everything we need. We're well equipped for the journey. That's good. The struggle comes because we've learned to judge these parts of ourselves, and the judgment has created a seeming division, which has created these experiences of sort of unsavory qualities, as I said. It's funny, we think we judge it because it's bad, because it's wrong, because it's dark. But really, it's dark because we judge it. Oops. So, turning around cause and effect. The ego hears this as blame, like, oh, you're bad, you've been doing it wrong. You know, it's, but really more than this, it's an invitation to power, invitation to the power that you are, power that I am, power that I am. But that means letting go of weakness. And we've come to identify ourselves as weak. So, you know, it's not that easy to let go of what we think we are, you know. It tends to get clung on to because we've taken it to be our identity. Then there's a lot of protection around it. So that's that. I feel like this is all quite abstract. What am I really talking about here? What am I even talking about? I don't really know. It's just what's coming through. Well, let's see. What else can we say? Well, let's talk about the unsavory things that are coming up to be seen and forgiven and transcended. The belief that only the ego can keep me safe, or that you could say that fear keeps me safe. This one I've been seeing in relation to money, jobs, work, and just linking the mind into the collective thought field. Like, I need to know what's going on in the world. I need to pay attention to the insanity so that I can basically make money from it, so that I can interact with it in a way that benefits me, in a way. So looking at ways to manipulate my experience in order to profit off of it, basically, to make money so I can eat, things like this. Now, there's nothing inherently bad or wrong about that. It's just that it's all formulated from separation and fear. So in a sense, it doesn't feel that good, you know. It's so that's one thing that's been coming up here for me, noticing the mind cycling in those idea patterns. What else? Well, in that realm of looking to make money, it's like some sort of learning that I need to sort of take a subservient position into that game in order to make money. So I need to please somebody. I need to find someone who has something, and then I need to put myself under them, and then I need to do what they ask me to do. And part of me accepts that, and part of me hates that and resents them, because they're now putting this on me, and they're not paying me enough, probably, you know, for what I'm doing. So it's always like I'm giving more, giving too much, getting too little. That's another nice one. Remember that what I'm expressing here is illusory thought forms. These are the ways that the mind catches itself in illusion and cycles in lack and struggle and stress, you could say. So these are things that are coming up in my experience to be seen and to feel the patterns of, and to hold up to the light and say, is this what I want to keep experiencing? Because it's my choice. I'm creating this. Oh, okay. Within all of that, then there's this other part that says, I need to be doing this differently. Okay, so I should be more spiritual or something. I should have like a passion job, and I should be expressing myself and making money off of that, and then strategizing ways to have my new successful persona that's like, I don't know, awakened, enlightened, that's helping people, and this will be my salvation, playing a new role, a better role, basically, my better self. And why aren't I doing that yet? Why haven't I succeeded at that yet? So there's another layer to the same sort of conditioned system there. Now, okay, one more character wants to come in. And it's like the homeless addict who's down and out and just given up on life, given up on themselves. There's an attraction to that, actually. Like, man, I kind of just want to stop trying, you know? But it's not just stop trying, it's like be so pitiful, so lacking, so poor that you just spiral into self-pity and self-destruction. And the mind, the ego will take you there. It would happily live out the rest of your lifetime doing that, you know? Because then it's, you know, it's staying in time and space. It's staying in limitation. So that'll work, you know? And there is an attraction in the mind to that. So compassion for that one as well. And you see, it's like, this is all in me, in my thought system, in the mind here, programmed in these beliefs and these positionalities. But you also see it playing out in the whole world, right? This sort of like nihilism, like there's nothing to live for anymore. Like we're in the end days of ego consciousness. We're in the end days, like late stage capitalism. So this sort of hopeless narrative that like everything's already been explored, that all the opportunities have been mined out, that there's nothing new to create, that there's nothing new to dream of. Been seeing that hopping around in the collective mind as well. So rather than just talk about the way that the ego is capturing our attention and drawing it into downward spiraling thought cycles, why don't we join in the mind and ask for divine intervention, divine correction of this? Because one thing we can see is that I, as a separate egoic consciousness, have no power to overcome these things. You know, I just can't. Don't know how. It's beyond the Pete character, you could say. So that's kind of the grace of it too, actually. When the problems spiral out beyond any hope of egoic solution, then there's only one way to go anymore, and that's transcendence. So let's open to that. That's what I'm gonna do right now, and just say to the light that I am, to the transcendent field of grace, please come into my mind and comfort me. Please come right into these points of seeming downfall and struggle and meet me there. Please reach your hand to me so that I may know that I have never been separate from your grace, from your love, from the love that I am. This is me reaching out to the highest aspect of myself. And in that reaching, we discover that we are not separate from the highest grace, the highest light that has never come into separation. And man, that is a comfort. That is a great and beautiful and bounteous comfort to the mind that's thought that it's lost itself in a dream of hopelessness. Can you feel it? I really hope that you can, even just in a subtle way. It's really just to see the places where the mind is denying that it is this grace, that it is one with the transcendent, that it is the answer to its own seeming problems, really just by letting go of them and opening to a broader, more open perspective. First, the peace, the silence of pure awareness. And the silence of pure awareness, well, that's our sanctuary. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for that peace, that silence. And then where does that silence come from? Where does that peace emanate from? And that's where you start to feel just this subtle radiance of joy And of course, we don't really know. We don't really know, but we keep it experiential. What is the source of the awareness that I am? We don't have to know, but we can feel. We can be with that. We can be that. And just become curious. What is it? What is the source of this awareness? See for yourself. See for yourself. And of course, it doesn't mean that all this human drama disappears. It doesn't mean that you don't still have your role to play in it. It doesn't mean that your mind won't continue to try to pull you back down into the downward spiraling thought fields of the collective consciousness of planet Earth. But what it does mean is now you have access to the sanctuary, and you have access to the pure solution, the grace that undoes all darkness, that undoes all illusion of separation. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So that's it. We go. This is how it flows, actually, the purification process. We get taken into separation and then back to the light, and then into separation and back to the light, and into separation and back to the light. It's almost a parallel to the lifetime after lifetime cycle, where we take a life and then we die and we transcend, and then we take a life and we die and transcend. But once you find peace right here, right now, in the present moment, now you have access to that cycle within this lifetime. In the TM tradition, they call it dyeing the cloth. You go into pure awareness, you dip the cloth in the dye, and then you go back out into the world and you let that cloth bake in the sun to bleach the color onto it. And then you go back into pure awareness, and then you go back into separation and back into pure awareness. And this is our service, actually, until there's literally nothing left to pull us back into separation. Well, then you've completed your karma. Congratulations. And there's probably still more service you can perform. It's like you can start performing the service of purifying collective karma. No longer feels personal whatsoever. It has no ability to seem to change your identity, and yet the service continues. But just to say that the perfection that you are is here now, regardless of what your experience on the outside is telling you. The transition to higher consciousness is to begin to look within for identification and not to the outside world. So we can be in some pretty chaotic and heinous situations, and it no longer has effect on who we take ourselves to be. This is freedom. This is liberation, to know what you are regardless of what your experience seems to be. So thank you for joining me. My camera is running out of batteries and zooming all over the place, showing you this beautiful environment that I'm in. And good night, good evening, and bye-bye.